Hello, my beautiful Gemini. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your career and money reading for the end of August, right through the end of September 2025. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings, and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I am using Gaia chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound. Also, something that may be of benefit to you as you take this breath and space for yourself is to really visualize the sort of success you desire to see in your career. It'll be specific for everybody and very different for everybody, of course, because success looks differently for everybody. So really visualize the sort of money you want, maybe the status or the opportunities you desire, and see them like you have them right now, because the Gaia chimes recalibrate vibrations, helping you to attach to a vibration of manifestation. So maybe something to think about during this time. So let us start your reading and let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Gemini, this is your career and money reading. Now, I'm going to get all of your cards first before I get, an overall outcome of your reading. And, I got this sense in your Gaia chimes because the chimes, they sound different for every reading, okay? And I really got a sense that if you rush, you're going to feel a little bit out of sync. There is divine timing occurring in your career and your financial situation at this moment in time. So it can be to find your rhythm at this time. Some of you may feel there's been a lot of clashing of energy. You may feel that you've been pushing against mud, almost. That's the energy. It's like you feel like you're moving forward, but somehow you feel like, although you're working super hard, you're somehow still in the same place. So I'm getting a real strong energy right now where you are trying to get back into the rhythm or the sync of something. And I feel that, of course, you are multitasking, doing a lot right now. That's the energy I got from your Gaia chimes. So really, let's tap into what's going on. How would you like to receive? It's almost like this card was like whizzing away. Okay, what is it? The ring. Okay, commitments. You have a lot of commitments on your shoulders right now, and it can be that you have a lot on your plate. When you have that card, it can basically indicate with the trumpet there that you're taking leadership in your career. You're loyal to it. You're committed. There's a lot of commitment here. Okay, and this can be that you're dependable. You're showing up. But I am getting a very strong energy already before I even start your reading, really, which is that you're sort of clearing down your workload, focused on being really practical, paying off bills, getting out of debt if you're in it, making space for joy and fun with family and friends, but also reaching for more. So I feel like you're being really practical and just doing what you got to do with heart-led purpose, where you are going to basically receive some sort of victory or win, but you're following your inner calling. And although it's hard, I feel like you're committed, you're dedicated, and you are taking things to the top, okay? We have the Eight of Swords there, yes, that's the energy. It's like Eight of Swords can indicate you feel a little bit bound to a certain position. Maybe you feel like you've reached a certain level or plateau. We got Six of Wands. You're reaching for the success, but you feel like it's always out of reach. It feels like, you know, you are on the treadmill, as it were, in your career. You've had some wins, don't get me wrong. You've got the trumpet there, which means you're very established at what you do. You're very successful, very talented, very gifted. You're very passionate. You're keeping that flame alive. Even though you're exhausted, you're holding it all together. And, you know, you have a lot on your plate, a lot on your to-do list there as well. And yes, there is a win coming in here for you. You will celebrate this win. There is some sort of elevation, shall we say, going on. But I feel like you're prepared for this success. I mean, you have a lot of wands here, a lot of fire in your energy. We've also got the Ace of Swords, new ideas, new ventures, but maybe even a change in your approach to what you are doing right now. But that Ace of Swords, it's really giving me strong energy of you kind of clearing down your workload, being on to the next and on to the next, and basically being clear in your intentions. We have the King of Pentacles. That's always good to show up in a career and money reading, but it is in the resistance position. So you may feel right now, the amount of effort you're putting into your career, you may feel like your money has stayed at a certain level for a while. Maybe you feel overlooked or unappreciated in some way when it comes to opportunities, or even if you work for yourself, you may feel it's hard to like come above a certain level, and you may feel like you're not earning the money that you aspire to achieve, but you will. Okay, because there is some sort of opportunity or contract or deal coming in here for you that sees you reach for more. We've got the Moon energy there as well, and we've got the Knight of Wands. A lot of you, if you are not already, you'd be a great entrepreneur, working for yourself, being your own boss, and a lot of you, that is something that's on your mind to aspire to be. But I will start with your first card. And of course, if anyone has come to this reading who is currently out of work, Six of Wands in the resistance position can indicate that either you left something or something didn't work out there, or you feel that, you know, you've had a lack of confidence after being made redundant, oversaturated job market. King of Pentacles can indicate, of course, you're not earning any money at this moment in time, and it can indicate it's really hard to find an opportunity that aligns with your morals, your sense of purpose, your true calling, but also finances, you know, in order to make life run smoothly. So you may be a little bit nervous about opportunity, but I do see, you know, if you're looking to work for a company, for example, Four of Wands indicates that, you know, there is some sort of alliance, a contract that you'll sign with a very friendly company, one that kind of like, welcomes you in like you are part of the family, as it were. It feels like a family feel. I mean, it may be even run by a family. It doesn't have to be, but I just get this energy of, you know, people welcoming in, this energy of like, welcome to the firm, or it doesn't have to be corporate. It can be anything. It just is this energy like, they nourish your skill set and make you feel like you matter and that you're making a difference. You're not just another number, is what I'm seeing there. You will actually staircase quite quickly in this role as well. I feel like you are energized, you are full of great ideas, and you have a lot of passion. But also I feel this is a very independent role as well. So no one micromanaging you, people kind of like trusting you that you're going to do the job, and you know that you are doing it to the best of your abilities, and you really prove yourself. I feel like you're going far in this role. So if you're looking for a new opportunity, I definitely see here that one is coming on in, and they're loyal. It's so hard to find loyalty in the working environment these days because, you know, the goalposts are always being moved, and there's always pressure to like create more with less money being given out to people who are working really hard. It can be that, you know, those at the top are, you know, having a lot of overheads, for example, or that they're taking more for themselves. So there seems to be less of a flow down of the finances. But, you know, if you're currently looking for a role, I feel that the role that you're about to have is very fair. People who care about healthy working practices, people who want you to elevate. I feel there is a partnership here, but also you somehow work very independently. So it could be that you split your time between one kind of department or one location, and then you travel with it for some of you. But the moon energy, for some of you, I feel this could be like two roles as well. You could share your time taking up one role, but also a very creative sideline, or maybe moonlighting, as it were. But I do feel like there is going to be more wealth coming your way, because anything that's in the resistance position, it will go into the upright. I feel this is about having faith, really shouting about your skill set, marketing, highlighting, allowing yourself to be seen. I mean, your talent speaks for itself, okay? But don't be afraid to talk yourself up, because you've got the skill set to back it up. So if you're going for an interview, I would say, trust that you've got everything you need to bag this role, okay? So there's definitely something coming on in there. I mean, looking at the energy, you may have, in the next 6 weeks, you may actually have like a return interview, so second interview, and then you start the position a little bit later on, is what I see, okay? So let's remove from that energy with a lot of love and respect. I feel like, you're going, I just want to say this quickly before I disconnect from that. It's feeling like a stepping stone, like you go into one role, but you staircase or springboard quite quickly to another role that gives you more responsibility, but also a greater status and more money, okay? So I feel like you prove yourself and then some, and you're working your way up the ranks, okay? So I'm going to leave that there. For everybody else who's currently, either running your own business or you work for a company, this is about you kind of like doing what you do best. You're bringing your A game there. I feel this is a card that indicates you're established at a certain level. You have a lot of knowledge. You may feel, though, that you have reached a certain level where you're now maintaining and sustaining and looking for alternative opportunities, or, basically more, because this figure is sitting in a chair that has prime position, okay? It means you're passionate about what you do. There's a trumpet there, which is about marketing, so or promotion even vibes. I mean, because there's a King of Pentacles here, if you work for a company, there could be an energy here of you connecting to a promotion, okay, for your loyalty of service, or there's some sort of bonus definitely in the works if you work for a company that gives a bonus or commission. I feel like you're in line for something like that. But if you're someone who works for yourself, it can be that you are surveying your industry and kind of looking further afield. It can be that you want to diversify or branch out in some way, because whoever I'm picking up on right now, I just feel like you've hit a certain level and now you're kind of going, what next? Okay, so even if you feel like you've reached a certain level financially, whether you work for a company or you're an independent worker, or you're actually a creative, or you are someone who is an entrepreneur. I mean, these are all different stages of your career, so please apply it to your situation. This can be that, you are looking at where you feel like you're at and kind of comfortable, okay? Not that you're complacent, it feels like you're comfortable, because this figure looks kind of comfortable, but they're at a peak, as it were. So you may feel like you've come as far as you can with a certain role. You do the same thing every day. It's a repetitive cycle. And you may not mind that, because it means that you are a pro at what you do. But this is a card where this figure is looking at expanding their horizons, okay? So it can be that you're thinking about new knowledge to help you enter new pay grades. Or it could be that you are thinking about overseas opportunities. For some of you, it could be that you want to be more nomadic in your industry or whatever it is you do, because this is a very highly creative person who's always on the go. So it could be that you want to get into the travel industry, or you want to have access to work online so you could work anywhere around the world. Some of you may even be thinking about migrating your business overseas and looking at whether there are better opportunities financially for you to hold onto your wealth, okay? Because this is a great financially savvy decision. So some of you may be getting advice, or even like just keeping your eyes peeled, surveying like forums, chat forums, or online platforms that have people talking about visas, passports, migrating skill sets, or migrating, businesses overseas. And I only say this because this person is looking over a vast ocean. So it's like, what next? This would be the equivalent of like a mixture between the Six of Wands and a Three of Wands. So this is like, you've had some successes. You feel like that you've got to a certain level, but now you're antsy for more. You want to expand your reach. You want to build on what you have already. There's definitely some sort of good news coming here for you over the next coming weeks. Now, of course, good news will show up in many different forms, so please apply it to your situation. But this is a card of triumph and victory, and you also have a Six of Wands, which is all about success, and then the Four of Wands is returned success. So This can be you reaching a milestone of nearly being where you feel like you should be in your career after feeling, a little bit like stuck in a rut, or feeling like your industry has changed so that it's almost like unrecognizable, but you are like staying ahead of competition and making sure that you are ready to navigate any changes in your industry right now, whatever they may be. It says here victory, resurrection, awakening, decisiveness, inner calling, and forgiveness. Now, forgiveness, of course, this can be that you feel overlooked on opportunities. It's something that you're not going to hold a grudge over. It just means that the universe is saying, you know what, there's another way. If you're not appreciated where you're at, it's time to look at alternative options and opportunities. Sometimes the universe gives us signs, and if we ignore those signs, then suddenly the universe will send us a tower and say, look, I told you there was time for reconstruction or change or revamping in some way, and you need to take a leap of faith elsewhere, but you didn't do it, so now I brought the tower and I'm going to shock you into it, or I'm going to nudge you off that fence. But I feel like you're taking leadership of your life and saying, you know what, I need to make some changes. So this could be that you're approaching your work in a different way. This is definitely a leader card. So I would say here that there is a win coming in here for you. But a lot of you, on a more grounded level, if you work for yourself, it could be that you are promoting yourself through like business cards, flyers, maybe online presence. Some of you, it could be websites or social media platforms. Some of you, because there is a commitment here, there is a contract here. This could be a brand deal. It could be a sponsorship deal. If you're an athlete, for example, it could be, a contract where you sign on the dotted line and get an opportunity because you're moving into a new role. For some of you, this could be like something that's private. It could be something in the home space, because this is a financial read as well as a career one. It could be that you're looking at rolling contracts on service providers, subscriptions, and things that perhaps you don't utilize. You may be looking, especially since the moon is present in your reading, you may be looking at where you kind of like hemorrhage finances, or where, things are overpriced and nibbling away at your finances. The hidden kind of, hidden inflation, for example, in goods, services, items, all of those things. So some of you could be looking at getting discounts and better deals, or looking at downsizing things that you just don't use anymore or that you've outgrown. Even if you run your own company, you may be looking at certain like business periodicals or subscriptions that perhaps helped you start up your business, but maybe they're no longer relevant because you've outgrown them, because now you've superseded all the knowledge it can offer you because you're doing. Sometimes you learn as you earn. You learn more by doing something. So it could be that you're like, okay, this was relevant and helpful right at the start of your career, but you may be like, okay, now not so much. So you may be looking at where you feel like there is a drain in your life, whether it's a drain of energy, drain of finances. You may be looking at upgrading your cell phone, because I see a lot of upgrade energy here. It could be that something has run its course, but you're finding a better deal as a replacement. And of course, a lot of you may even stay loyal to a certain company, and you may challenge them if they're trying to increase their services. I feel like you are aware that, business, it does increase services and costs over time. But if you feel there's something that is overly inflated, you may actually challenge them. And as a loyal customer, you can negotiate a better deal. This is coming through, so I have to mention it. This is your reading, but my guides are highlighting it in order to give you the energy. Many years ago, I worked for a very well-known person, okay? And this well-known person, I'm not connected to this person. It was just like a brief job that I had. But this person was very direct, was like, I don't want that. That's too much. No, yes, no. And I was like, this person's like real kind of like decisive. And there was a little bit of intimidation energy there with a character that was so strong. But I admired the fact that when she said no, she meant no. And I kid you not, she had like a cell phone contract with a service provider, and they were increasing the services. And I was just briefly this person's like personal assistant. And, a letter came in, and I just advised her that, just to let you know, the services on this cell phone are going up. And she went, no, that's not happening. You need to reduce it. And I was like, okay. Now this person, you just don't say like no to this person. That's what I was told, and I needed the money at the time, so I was like, okay. So I called the provider, and I was like, okay, this person it's a no. Like, she's going to take her services elsewhere. And as you can see, she's got a big family plan. All the people that she cares about are on this plan. So that's a lot of money that's going to go elsewhere to a competitor if you like start to increase the services. I kid you not. Within a couple of minutes, the manager came on, offered a better deal. Her bills were now lower, and there were free cell phones and all of this stuff. And, basically she was well known within a certain sector. So not like your big worldwide stars. She was just known in a certain like circle. So, but she had a gravitas that was like, no. So my point being is sometimes you can contest something and say, you know what, I'm going to take my service elsewhere because there are competitors. And in a market where things right now are very volatile because, if things are increasing and you don't agree with it, I feel your loyalty as a customer actually means something. And when you contest it, then there will be some changes. But ultimately, if you kind of like accept it, then they're just going to get away with it. So that's coming through. So some of you may be like, oh my gosh, my cell phone thing is like increasing or some service is increasing. You will have an opportunity to negotiate a better deal, especially since we've got the Four of Wands. You'll go back and forth on it, but the Knight of Wands tells me you reach your goal. And the Trumpet, this can be that you're making some noise over something. And it's like, okay, you're not kind of like bulldozing over a person or service to get what you want, but you're making your voice heard and saying, you know what, actually, no, I don't have to take that. I can take my services or my business elsewhere, and therefore there are some adjustments made. I feel like you will reconnect with a loyal service, but only after you've done a better deal. So that's coming through. Please apply it to your situation in some way. I just feel like you get a better deal, okay? Now, this card, you're following your calling, and we've got the Eight of Swords. So some of you, it can be that you're feeling a little bit stuck or you're feeling a little bit nervous, because you know where you want to take your career to next, but you may feel like you're at a certain level and it's hard to get past that certain level. But this is about being really like real with yourself, honest, being true blue, kind of like, okay, you know what? I'm seeing things as clearly as they should be right now, and you're freeing yourself from illusions. So rather than saying like, okay, it'll be fine, I'll just, remain in this position and maybe something will come up. I feel some of you may suddenly apply for things or put yourself on courses of learning. I feel this is a time of action. This is a time of liberating yourself and moving on to the next stage, because 8 is the number of the self. So I feel this is an energy here of you kind of like feeling like you have in some way reached a limit. Or, for some of you, you're under a lot of pressure and you may be dealing with a person who has kept you at a certain limit or, has restricted opportunities because of nepotism, or, they may have kind of like bypassed you in some way. I feel that person is either going to be removed or they have a change of heart, especially if you work for a company. If you do not work for a company and you work for yourself, this could be that you work in a very closed industry that is all about connections, who you know, and I feel you're breaking into this. You are getting into the inner circle. So either you meet someone through networking, and, you get into the inner circle in that way. Your talent speaks for itself. But talent, it can remain talent unless, you have a plan to back it up, and as long as you get the opportunities, right? You have to be ready for the opportunities. So I feel some of you, if you're not meeting a person, I feel this could be someone who is, very high up or high ranking in your industry that notices your skill set and actually wants to elevate you. There's a lot of that going on. I feel the planetary alignments right now are about people in positions of authority helping others into a very similar role. So I feel this could be your lucky break, as it were. But the Ace of Swords, for some of you, there is this energy, and this is not going to resonate with all of you. If you have like a personal thing that you're doing at this moment in time, like for example, it can be that you're having surgery or you've just had surgery, I feel this gives you clear thinking time. Eight of Swords says that you are resting, you cannot take any action, you're protecting yourself, don't rush back into the fray until you are finally better there. But it gives you thinking time of how to reach that plateau, that moment of success. And some of you may actually utilize the internet, whether you've had an operation, a procedure or not. I feel this is about new ideas that are taking you to the top. And a lot of you are going to utilize the internet or some sort of tool or electronic program that helps you advance in some way, because of course there's a lot of air energy there. But I feel like you're brainstorming new ideas, and this is about promoting them, taking action on them, and transforming the way that you work. I mean, I feel things are going to help you move forward with excellent speed. I do feel like you're going to be super busy. There's something here where you're doing something that you're loyal to, that you're committed to, but I just feel like you're thinking about something extra or something new on the side that will just transform the way you do business. So this could be a social media platform partnership to earn money. Maybe you're downloading things or uploading things. Maybe you're creating a course online about what it is that you do. I mean, I'm not going to comment really on this part, but I'm just seeing it in the water. So you do have a card with a dog there as well. It could be that for some of you, you may have a pet that basically loves the camera, and it's doing really wonderful, wild and wacky things on the camera. And one day you just post it up there as look at my amazing dog or cat or pet, look how cute they are. And suddenly it has a glow up and you're like, oh my gosh. This could be something where you're not making your pet perform for the camera, but it can be that you have loads of wild and wacky videos of your unique pet's sense of humor or personality, and you're like, oh my gosh, I could just upload that. Obviously, you may kind of I don't know, put it to the pet, see if they're happy with that. Sometimes you can actually really feel when an animal is like, no, I don't like the camera. There are some cats, for example, I have friends who, when they go to take a photograph of their pet or a video, the cat hisses. It's very obvious the cat is like, you're invading my privacy. I don't like that. But there are other pets that are like, yeah, I love this. So, obviously, your pet. But I'm just highlighting that some of you may be like, okay, I'm just going to put that up there and see how it goes. And it could start to generate revenue for you. These may be things that you're just thinking about right now, because a lot of you are in a very thoughtful energy of strategizing, what you could do as an extra for your business or a side hustle, okay? Because this is something new. It's a new idea. It could be very creative. Doesn't even have to involve pets. I'm just highlighting it because you have a pet there, okay? But, this card indicates your commitment to something. And I feel some of you, there is this energy here where with that Six of Wands, there is a project or an idea that you've had a little bit of doubt about, because the Six of Wands initially is in the resistance position, and that can indicate that either, you stopped doing it or you sidelined it in some way, or, you had a lack of confidence in it. Not that it failed or that it didn't work out. It can be that it run its course at its time, and you may actually revisit this and kind of tweak it in a certain way, and then put it out there, launch it. And I feel it'll be really kind of received very well. If you're someone who perhaps runs your own business and you have creative projects, it could be something that you started to imagine, but now you want to reimagine it or rebrand it in some way. Or, a lot of you, because there is a person here, this could be that you have a returning customer who is very wealthy, or a client who is very knowledgeable and wealthy and has good connections. I feel like you're meeting a person who is actually very successful in their field, and you could be inspired by this person, and actually they love what you do, and there could be this sharing of information there, because the ring can indicate, a sharing or an agreement or an affinity, an understanding of how hard the business is, and someone saying, you know what, I love what you do. I'm going to give you a break, okay? And it could be that they put you in contact with somebody. And this could be if you work in a company as well. I just feel like there is a friend in a high place, okay? And some of you, this could be someone you actually know, and you reunite with this person and they tell you about something that they're doing that you even think is a viable option for you, or you're doing something very similar to it and you're like, okay, you know what, maybe we could either promote each other's work or riff or work together in some way. So I feel a lot of you may be thinking about those things if that's something that connects in some way to your business, because of course that's not going to resonate with all of you. But it says here commitment, agreement, bond, contract, proposal, partnership, and promise. So I feel There's even the word marriage there as well. So a lot of you, you could be working really hard and then going off, taking a break and getting married, going on a honeymoon, for example. And you're trying to get all the little bits and pieces cleared down and, tying up loose ends before you go on a vacation. Even if you're not getting married, it could be that you're going on a vacation. For some of you, because marriage is there, it could be that you're invited to some sort of engagement or wedding and you meet someone who's in your industry. And this could be a great networking opportunity that surprises you. You get talking to someone new about business and they're like, oh yeah, I do this all the time. Or it may be someone who has a goods or service that you require to help you do business. Because I feel right now you're in a period where you can find enterprising options everywhere you go. And people that you meet have some sort of wisdom to impart to you, no matter who they are. Like many years ago, I wanted to be in a certain industry and I worked in like a confectionery store when I came out of college there. And suddenly a leading professional in the industry I actually wanted to get into suddenly came in to buy confectionery, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's this person. And then I was like, you know what, I want to get into this industry, this is what I'm doing for it. And they're like, okay, send me your details. And it was kind of like an impromptu fated moment. So I'm highlighting that opportunity can be found everywhere, and your commitment and your talent partnered together is an equation for success. Okay, but I feel like you're sticking to your plans, and some of you may even be creating like a business plan or proposal for your diversity, as it were, because I feel like some of you are diversing plans, or like you're reaching a place in your career where you want to like branch out, diversify, as it were. So this could be that you're setting up different streams of income or different avenues or different aspects of your, business that you run. Or if you work for a company, it could be that you're branching out, learning skills that I'm being given the word cross-pollinate different departments. I mean, I don't work in a corporate field, so maybe that's a corporate term. I mean, it's very organic, cross-pollinate, but, it can be that variety is a spice of life, and you're just learning skills in order to, be ready for any changes and be relevant in your industry. A lot of knowledge is going to help you succeed. I feel a lot of you want to learn new skills, but I mean, you've got the Trumpet card, you've got the Six of Wands, which is you being seen in your industry, being heard, being elevated. This is a card of accomplishment. I would say, you're going to get some sort of recognition for your success, as it were. There's some good news coming on in here, and I feel things are gathering momentum. A lot of you, if you're not an influencer in your industry, I feel like you will be. And an influencer, that word can be used in many different ways, but I feel like you're someone who, will have a large reputation in your industry as being someone who is very successful, very passionate, and, great at what you do. Naturally talented, but also open to acquired knowledge. So I really get this energy that you're aware of the next steps on your plan, but also I feel like you are brainstorming new ways to approach so that you can open up to new possibilities. Of course, you have money on your mind because the King of Pentacles is in the resistance position. Some of you may feel it's really hard right now. You're not getting the money that you truly deserve for the effort that you're making, but I do see an opportunity aligning with you where you will step into more. This is a very enterprising card. It can indicate you are a magnet for prosperity, but you're working every single day really hard to make it happen. You're grounded, you have the plans, you're being practical, you're a great business mind. So a lot of you are calculating your finances for either a large purchase, or you're even thinking about becoming your own boss if you're not one already. But I would say if you are someone who's an entrepreneur or you have your own business, you may be looking at things like business loans or, investing in certain acquisitions. But ultimately, even if you're not in that, I feel this is about you taking responsibility for your tasks and your duties and being loyal to maintaining and sustaining and trying to level up and attract more. I feel this is you kind of being in the administrative tasks as well. Phone calls, text messages, replying to people, correspondence, documents, spreadsheets. I'm actually seeing a really random graph. I'm not even sure if it is a graph. I'm just seeing a big circle, and in the circle there is a dot. And oh, okay, thank you so much, I'm truly grateful. It's like a circle of needs and a circle of wants. Okay, so this is you kind of like drawing up what you need in life to sustain you in terms of paying off your bills, eating, like rent or mortgage repayments, things like that, family responsibilities if you have any, dependents and things like that, but also wants. And I feel like you're going to accomplish them all. Okay, it may take some time, but I feel like you're on course to build a life of luxury and abundance. And a lot of you are also thinking about the commitments you have right now. And it's not just about success. Of course, it is about money, because of course, you know, this card can indicate you're thinking about your 401ks, you're thinking about like pensions, retirement, and it can be that it seems so far off, but you're still investing. Okay, it feels like you are making slow progress to where you desire to be. And you're diligent. You know, with the dog energy, this can be that you're sniffing out new opportunities. It can indicate that you are also working in private on something behind the scenes. But it means that you're loyal, you're showing up, you're bringing your A game, you're focused, action-oriented, and you're organized and structured in order to be very productive over the next coming weeks. It says here, friends, trust, companion, dependable, support, protection, pet, loyal, and soulmate. I mean, of course, this reading is about career and money, but you can have soulmates in your industry, someone who's got your back. So it could be, you know, your loyal partner who is supporting you and saying, you can do it, keep going. I know it's challenging, but you've got this. It could also be like someone in your family, or maybe someone you actually work with. Maybe you have a partner at work. You know, if you work in the services, for example, it could be that you have a partner and, you know, you are on the beat doing your thing. And this is about loyalty being so important in the working environment. So whilst you're aspiring to make a name for yourself, you know, you're not stepping over people to get to where you want to go. Everyone can rise. And I feel like you have that mindset, but not everybody does. So just watch that. I mean, I feel like if you've got a partner, they're on your side, okay? But I feel there may be someone here who is jealous of your success. More likely it's a boss. Or if you are someone who is your own boss, this could be, well, I'm getting two energies really, which is a bit random. One is if you have people working for you, there could be someone who's really jealous of the way that you run the company. It's like they feel like they're entitled somehow, like they should have more, but they're not pulling their weight to get it. So you may have a very challenging conversation with someone like that if you actually run your own business. Not everybody does, but if you do, I feel like you're going to have a conversation like that. But if you work for a company, I feel this could be your boss that sees you as a triple threat, okay? And it could be that you have the skills, the talent, you've got great ideas, you are hungry for success, and you're already, you know, showing that you're established at what you do. And it can be that, you know, you are loyally making your way up through the ranks. You don't want their job. You are aiming past their job, if that makes sense. And not in a rude way. It's just that you know that you can go the distance. So I feel like you are like onto something and you are like making a name for yourself. I feel the person who is coming out as boss energy for you, if you have a boss, I feel like there's someone who is not feeling it. I feel like their skill set would be best elsewhere, but they haven't had the courage yet to find their way to leave. They will eventually one day, but it's not now, is what I see there. But they're not going to be able to stop your success. I want you to be aware of that. People in positions of authority, even higher than this person, are going to notice you and offer you opportunities, not just for your loyalty, but for your talent. Okay? Now we do have a Four of Wands. If you're someone who is running your own business and it's very customer based, I would definitely say that you have return customers, people who are loyal to you, someone who especially is very wealthy, time and time again, they're going to mention your services. They may even like shout about your services and promote them. So whether it's you make something through craft online, like a platform like Etsy, for example, or you're an artist, or you are someone who, you know, is a plumber, or you know, whatever it is, I feel like people are talking about your service and they love what you do, and it's going to bring in more people. This is a card of basically returns, reunions. So some of you may even reunite with a coworker that you used to work with, or someone you did business with, or even went to business school if you went to business school, or if you went to college. Could be someone who kind of like tells you about opportunities that they're looking into right now. But I would say the Four of Wands is more about success. It's about celebration. It's about you being prepared for this success, locked onto your goals. And I would say you are hitting your mark. This is a time to celebrate, but also it's a perfect time to network. So if you are like in either industry, I feel if there's a team building exercise or a gathering, work drinks, or even a networking opportunity, maybe an expo, this is a perfect time to be seen at those places, because there is a very important connection that you have not met yet. And this person is going to be integral to your career long term, or to your aspirations long term. We have the moon energy. So the moon, of course, is about keeping your dreams and hopes alive, but also noticing that when you're at a certain level in success, sometimes we fear that we're going to lose that position, or we try and hold on too tight. I would say just keep bringing your A game, be passionate about what you do. You're in a really stable position, but also the moon represents like a hidden opportunity coming towards you. So there's something you have either already celebrated or you will celebrate, and then there's like a little cherry on top. And again, I was seeing this graph, it's come up again, I'm not really sure what it represents here. It's a circle with a dot in the middle. I feel it is connected to the needs and wants, but also I feel this is about success coming full circle and remaining grounded in your decisions. Thanks so much, I'm truly grateful. My guides just said hitting the bullseye. I mean, it doesn't look like a bullseye, but, you know, that's what my guides just said. So I'm giving you what I heard, okay? There may be some sensitivities in and around the working environment as well. So people could be extra critical or extra sensitive in the next coming weeks. And this could be anyone you deal with, whether it's customers, whether it is clients, or, you know, co-workers. I just feel there's an extra sensitivity. It can be that people are coming back off a vacation, for example, and everyone's feeling they're vibing high, they're rejuvenated, and then they get back into the flow and they're back in the lull, and suddenly they're like, oh, it's like the vacation was like 2 years ago. They never had one. It just feels like it's null and void. Okay, so there could be a little bit of crankiness there. I just want you to be aware of that. Now, I mean, this is not really a love reading, but I would say that there is an energy here of someone having a bit of a crush on you in the working environment. And because we have the moon there, I mean, if you're taking it a little bit further and it gets physical, there's a potential for pregnancy. Random that this came out, but I had to mention it there. So if that's not something you want to do or want to experience, then take precautions. Okay, that's just something that just popped out there, so I'm going to leave that there. Ultimately, your Knight of Wands indicates a very goal-oriented period where you're smashing a lot of things off your to-do list and you're wanting new adventures. This is a card that highlights you are unstoppable in your visions, you're trusting it, you're taking action, something is rising up within you where you feel really like fired up and excited. And I feel it's off the back of this good news. It feels like now you are breaking free from that plateau, that glass ceiling. Whether it is that you feel your skill set wasn't nurtured, or whether it, you know, a lot of opportunities have passed you by, or you feel overlooked, I feel this is the time to be recognized. And this is a time where, you know, you are kind of like exploring your options without being distracted. And I feel there could be like an opportunity that comes in left field, and you may impulsively decide to go for it. It's a calculated risk. I don't see you rushing into something that you're like, you know, going in there blind, because the Eight of Swords is there, but so is the Ace. That means you see clearly. Okay, so I feel this is a calculated risk. I'm seeing a dice in the water right now. So it could be that there is some sort of gamble in your career where you're like, you're not sure how it's going to go. So it could be that you approach your boss and say, I want a raise. And they'll be like, what? Okay, let's talk. And then you bring your proposal to say, look, I'm working extra hours. I'm filling in for all the people who are off, or people who've been made redundant, or, you know, basically I'm loyal to the firm. I want to like rise through the ranks. I'm not just asking you for a raise. I'm asking you to level up in the company in some way. So it could be that you make your proposal to your boss and they go, let me get back to you. And then suddenly they come back after a period where you're a little bit unsure how that all went, thinking, oh, they're probably going to get rid of me now. When actually they say, okay, yeah, we'll give you some more money. We're going to figurehead a new department. You can like be in charge of that. You can go out there and talk to new clients, market the company. You know, a lot of you are stepping into roles where there are new skill sets or new technology. Now, this doesn't have to be connected to a company. It can be that like there's a new machine that's going to do what, you normally do, and it just streamlines, and you are now in control of that, for example. So I just feel like okay, let me just put it this way. It's always a no until you ask. And there's no harm in asking, okay? So if you are thinking about, asking for more, or if you're basically trying to delegate certain tasks, responsibilities, and feeling that, some people have been pulling their weight, or even if you're outsourcing, if you work for yourself, it could be that you are connecting to PAs or online services that help organize your diary, or maybe accountants or financial advisors. It can be that you're outsourcing or finding a way to streamline what you do already so that you can be more creative, so you can be the ideas person, so you can actually take accountability for your career and deal with the practical stuff. But perhaps it's like you overseeing it, because I feel this figure is like an overseer. For example, if your accountant does your accounts, you oversee it and go, okay, yep, I agree with that. Yep, that's great. Okay, yep, let's question this, but that, and you've just given your receipts, or you've prepared your accounts and given it over for them to kind of go through it with a fine tooth comb, and then you oversee it, and then you kind of okay it, sign it off. Some of you may be in roles like that, or aspiring to be in roles like that, and I feel like this is something that puts you in a bit of a pole position, as it were, to be in control, but also advance. Gives you more time, bides you more time. Okay, so I'm just going to move away from the energy. We've got celebration. I definitely see celebration all over your reading. Okay, this harp, fine-tuning things. It says, you will get good news in terms of work or wealth. Angels have your back. There's definitely a breakthrough here. You may have felt like you've been stuck for a little while, but there is some sort of vibrational change here going on for you. We've also got braving storms. Now, really interesting, okay? Before I started your reading, this is so random, but before I started your reading, I noticed on the weather forecast that there was a storm headed to where I live, right? So I was like, okay. I told all my friends about it and my family, just to say, if you're out and about, get an umbrella because storm coming. And basically, I went to start your reading, and I'm going to have to look back on the camera to see if it got caught on camera, but there was a rumble of thunder, right? It had just started raining. It was stopping raining, but suddenly a rumble of thunder started at the beginning of your reading, and then it went away. It completely missed my area, which is great, of course, but, it can be that you feel like you're braving storms. You're preparing for a storm in your industry, but this storm may bypass you, because I feel there is some sort of success here. It's like sometimes we can be fearful of the unknown, but I feel sometimes if we just take a chance, or say, you know what, I'm just showing up, I'm just going to do it. It's something that I'm called to do. Follow my heart. It will all work out for you the way it is meant to, and there's a lot of success surrounding this as well. Also, storms release pressure, okay? So it can be that you're under a lot of pressure right now, and you're braving something, you're moving through something, but it will release a pressure, and there is some sort of success or payoff at the end of it, and it'll be all worth it. But it says, no matter what happens, you will emerge with grace, change of direction. So I feel more than anything here, because this is you kind of looking further afield. More than it just being a change of direction, I feel it's something that complements what you do. So it may feel like you are looking in another direction, but somehow it's still connected to what you do, if that makes sense. I mean, it's all going to be connected to your bank account, so I feel there is that. We've also got confidence. Yeah. Your whole reading says peacock yourself, okay? It says you stand out from the crowd naturally. This is not a time to hide away your skill set. If you're launching something, get it out there, promote it. But it says here, allow yourself to go for the dream you really want. Show what you can do. And I feel this is perfect. This is you going for the dream. This is you reaching for more. Of course, there's practical things that you have to take care of, and I feel like you're taking care of those things. You're literally taking care of business. But I feel there is this energy of protecting what you've accomplished so far and building upon that, okay, and taking things to the next level there. Let's get your trinket or rune before we close. Okay, so we have, oh, isn't that interesting? Wow, I can't believe it. I don't think I've ever seen this trinket come out. We've got a dog. Okay, so, I mean, the dog is loyalty, of course. It can also be companionship, camaraderie in the working environment, and maybe even some sort of video regarding your pet. So that is so random that that's come out there, especially since the dog is there too. I mean, I feel like there may be some sort of opportunity as well in your industry, no matter what you do, where your loyalty actually sets you apart for your industry. So it could be that someone badmouths someone and you're like sticking up for them, saying, actually, don't talk about the person when they're not here. Okay, that's not kind, it's not nice, and it's not really conducive to, building any strong alliances. And it may get back to the actual person that you stuck up for them when they were not in the room. That is a measure of loyalty. But also it can be that you do something that saves the day regarding a career or, some sort of event that occurs. I feel like your loyalty is rewarded, is what I'm seeing there. And also we got the airplane. So that's about you going places. It means, that you're leveling up in some way. Some of you, it could be that you're migrating your business or thinking about that, thinking about going overseas. Of course, some of you are going on a vacation and you're tying up loose ends. You can have a great time, but it gives you thinking time to think about the next steps. But I would say this is about getting things off the ground. Moving to a different level, going to a different height in your career, an elevated position. And also, I'm getting one other thing. One moment, please. If you're launching something, it's really going to take off. Okay, and yeah, I would say if anyone tells you you can't do something, that is the fuel that you need to get it off the ground, because you're going to prove them wrong. You're going to be a great success, okay? So I'll leave it there. I hope something resonates, my beautiful Gemini. Now, also, something that may benefit is writing down what you aspire to achieve in your career, really documenting to the universe and declaring it that you want a certain amount of money, or you want a certain opportunity or certain status or reputation in your industry, whatever it is, because writing it down makes it clear to the universe, but also it sets it in stone that this is something that you are aligning with. Whether you write it down in private or write it in the comments box below, it is a declaration when you're cosmic ordering. Because if you ask for something right now, like say, for example, you say, I really want this success in this career. And then the next day you say, I really want this success in this career, but I also want this certain amount of money. You've actually added to your order. So it has to go back to the cosmic kitchen to be revamped or add to your order. So it takes more time. So write it down, always be clear, set an intention, thoughts become things, and writing is a spelling. It's a spell cast out to the universe to declare to the universe what it is you're aligning with. So, write it down. It may help something to benefit you there, but I will leave it there, and I hope something resonates there with you. So thank you so much, my beautiful Gemini, and love and light.